Dog ownership is a risk to pregnant mothers, a risk to children, and a driver of disease. Today I will show you why. First off, let's look at some important things about having a baby. This has a lot to do with postpartum related diseases and stress. So let's start off with just looking at some stuff about dog ownership. Okay, so as you can see here, dog ownership requires a lot of time and money. So some of the things you can see here, you might have to wake up earlier to take care of your dog. You got to do a lot of stuff to take care of your dog. And this all takes away from the baby. You got to have training. So plenty of sources here off to the right. But without a doubt, it's a huge consumer of your time. And your time is not finite. Your time as a mom, especially a pregnant mom, is very infinite, and you need that time to yourself. And so, here is some information about that. Pregnant mothers need more time for physical recovery, rest, and preparation. So, when you're having a human child, time is important to you. You got stuff to do for yourself. You don't need to be running around cleaning up after a dog, feeding a dog, picking up poop, and all that type of stuff. As you can see here, there's some important things that happen or that need to happen that sometimes don't, like physical recovery, like rest. How can you rest? Look at this, rest. You need more sleep time. Our previous lookup said that you need to wake up earlier to give your dog a run. Yeah. So without a doubt, pregnant moms need more of time to themselves. And owning a dog simply takes away from that. It takes away from a finite resource that they need for their own health and happiness and the health and happiness of their baby. So let's ask the internet sources another question. During pregnancy, is it best for the mother to have to take care of other people? So think about that, taking care of dogs or other babies. Well, let's see what the sources say here. For pregnant women, reducing caregiving responsibilities for others is beneficial. So why would we give pregnant mothers a bunch of dogs to take care of, a bunch of dog YouTube channels to make videos for? That's their time to pay attention to their health, not to play around with freeloading dogs. So have a look at some of these things right here. There is an impact on the baby's development. So if you're sitting there taking care of a dog, getting all your dopamine from staring at a dog, that's not helping you bond with your baby. It's not helping you focus on yourself and your baby. And look at some of the things that are happening right now, like increased infant illness. Like up here, look what it says, low birth weight. Wow. One of the things you got to do is prioritize rest. You can't do that with a dog. Avoid heavy lifting. Well, you got to lift the dog food. You got to lift the dog. Look what it says here. Be kind to yourself. Yeah, be kind to yourself. Dogs will never be kind to you. Let's look around the internet some more for some information about this. So we already actually have studies that show this. Check it out. Owning several pets can increase postpartum stress due to added demands on the new parent's time, energy, and financial resources. While companion animals can provide mental health benefits, a house full of pets can amplify the feeling of being overwhelmed. Yeah. Now, of course, this is artificial intelligence summary generator, so they have pulled from some of the, pro dog, quote unquote experts. So they're going to throw in this little part about the mental health benefits, as it says right here, mental health benefits. But those have never been proven, and mental health benefits of dogs are just in the moment. They're not long term. But as you can see here, you get an increased workload, right? What else do you get? Worry about pet care. There's all types of stuff that the mom has to deal with instead of focusing on the baby. There's safety concerns, not just for the dogs that bite babies right in the bassinet, like huskies do, or pit bulls and other dogs. Even wiener dogs have bitten the genitals off of newborn babies in their little bassinets. But another safety concern is just tripping and falling over a stupid, rambunctious, jealous dog that is used to being the center of attention, and now you have a baby. It says right here one of the things you need to do is establish boundaries and safe zones. Huh. Dogs don't give a shit about boundaries. The more boundaries you put up in your house, the more the dog will jump over them. It's freaking crazy. So let's look around some more. So, guess what, guys? It's common for women to prioritize their care, or prioritize the care of their dog, sorry, over their own self care. This is a common thing in our society right now. Men, women, children, organizations, they'll prioritize worshiping a dog over their own self care. So, just on average, with all of these dogs that we have, putting a dog in a household with a mom that has all of her mommy hormones fully activated, you're just taking advantage of this already over the top situation. There's discussions that you can find in person all over the internet, like this one right here. It says a recent survey says that owners value their pets more than their self. Just like we already know, millennials spend more on their dog's well-being than their own, which means they're gonna the same thing is true for their kids and their friends. Yeah, yeah. And notice what they'll try to throw down our throat is the non-judgmental companionship. Well, that's just a logical fallacy. Dogs can't judge anyways, and having somebody judge you, that's part of having a kid. Kids have to go through emotional maturity and growing up. They are going to judge you because you're going to have to take candy away from them when it's too much. You're going to have to provide for their health and safety, and there's some stuff you're going to have to say no to them. And yeah, they're going to judge you a little bit. But notice this right here, fulfilling a need to nurture. That's what dogs provide these women. They give them a quick fulfillment of that, but it doesn't go anywhere. It's just a constant thing. Let's look around some more. What do we got here? So, a pregnant woman should absolutely be allowed to focus on self care. Yeah, no freaking shit, people. Wow. Well, you can't do that with a dog. You can't do any of that. Look at all the stuff that is important. Supports fetal development, prepares for motherhood. Look at some of the stuff about self care. Adequate rest. You can't rest when the dog's barking and you got to get up to walk the dog. You got to have your me time, like it says right here. Yeah. And what are the consequences of not taking care of yourself? Look at some of these consequences. Pretty nasty. Prenatal and postpartum depression and anxiety, increased risk of adverse birth outcomes. Yeah, this is a driver of diseases, guys. Yeah. Let's look around some more about this postpartum stuff. So, numerous studies show that postpartum related issues, both mental and physical, are on the rise. Increase is seen across different issues, populations, and geographic. So check out some of the stuff that goes along with having your postpartum time messed with. One of the things, the leading cause of maternal death. Yeah, this isn't just some minor thing. Like, oh, we can make the mom take care of a few extra dogs. Dogs are better, blah, blah, blah. No, this is a serious issue, guys. Look at this. You have lasting health problems. Lasting health problems from having your postpartum time in your life being overwhelmed with extra dogs, extra expenses. Notice, just like I said, rising chronic health conditions. It's funny that they put the systemic inequities in here. I know that they're not going to connect this to dogs. They're going to connect this to skin color and stuff like that. But you talk about inequities. The inequity is humans and dogs. We treat dogs like gods, let them get away with anything, to the point of sacrificing our own health and happiness to support dogs. That is a huge inequity. So, you guys want to talk about anti-racism or all that kind of stuff with the systemic inequities? Have a look at dogs, and you can see where the real inequity and inequality is. So, what's another thing that we know about postpartum? Treating a woman poorly has severe and far-reaching negative consequences for society, impacting public health, stability, economic productivity. This mistreatment can lead to higher maternal and infant mortality rates. So, making a woman spend all this extra time taking care of a dog, not allowing her to focus on herself, doesn't that qualify as poor treatment to women? I think it does. It would be like moving a homeless person in the house and telling the mom, hey, you got to take care of this freeloader too. Even a homeless person could at least like mow the lawn or something if they're decent. A dog won't do anything, it just needs you. And as you can see, like I mentioned before, look at this: adverse adverse birth outcomes, poor mental health outcomes, altered infant brain development. Yeah, terrible. Terrible what we're doing to women by forcing them to take care of dogs. So what's our next little look up? Here's something I found all over the internet. It was from a keyword search. It's called "My boyfriend makes me take care of his dog." So, um, off right here on the cursor, there's 3 sources about this. But this happens all the time between boyfriends and girlfriends. So this is just my example of how we're treating each other. We're forcing each other to take care of dogs. You can find this anecdotally, and you can find YouTube videos of women speaking out on this. I'll put a link in the description. But one of the things about this is read here: unfair workload. So it's an unfair workload for the woman taking care of the family dog, the friend's dog, the husband's dog, the kid's dog while she's pregnant. So look at this. It is very important for the mother and baby to bond, as it is crucial for the baby's development and the mother's well-being. Well, once the baby's born, what's the mom going to be doing? Staring at the dog all day, taking YouTube videos of the dog all day. Baby talking the dog while she should be holding the baby. And so the baby's not going to bond as good. And again, look at all these nasty things that are going to happen to the baby or the mother because of this. Yeah. So speaking of bonding, let's look at bonding a little bit more. So having too many distractions can interrupt and weaken the mother-baby bond. What is constantly distracting people? Dogs. Yeah. And look at one of the things that this undermines right here: face-to-face communication. When you have a newborn baby and you're staring at a dog, what's the dog want? What's the dog need? You're telling your baby to look at the dog. Maybe the baby is about becoming a toddler and you're allowing the dog to sneak food off the toddler's plate. That you're totally undermining this eye contact and facial face-to-face communication, as it says right here. Yeah, terrible. And one of the things about face-to-face communications is that's how they develop their speech. They watch you talk, they listen to your words. Well, right now, we have a problem with, look at this, speech delays. Of course, they're going to go ahead and blame COVID-19, which is actually relevant, guys, because what happened during COVID-19? Everybody adopted several dogs to cram up in their house because they started working from home and they thought that was going to be, the companion dog. So I actually kind of agree with this COVID-19 evaluation here because, yeah, that's when people started just putting their kids in front of dogs and stuff like that. And notice what it says here: increased screen time. Right here. Well, what are they looking at on the screen? Dogs. Their people, their friends on Facebook, everything always has to be dogs, 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 dogs. Yep. And just like with the other things that I'm sharing with you guys, look at the impact and the problems that this can lead to. Health, happiness, the health of our nation. They'll say that dog ownership is all American. If you don't like dogs, and you ain't no good American. Yet look at what we're doing to American kids by forcing their mothers to pay attention to dogs instead of their infants. Yeah. So, like I said before, this is just another lookup of the sources, but face-to-face interaction with the mother is crucial for the baby's speech development. Both visual and auditory cues essential for language learning. Yeah. So all of these theses that I've mentioned in this video, you can easily find sources for them, published studies, YouTube videos, everything. Taking time away from the mother, distracting the mother, making the mother focus on a time-sucking, money-sucking dog is a huge risk to the infant. It's a huge risk to humanity, and it's a risk to the financial and intellectual components that build our nation. We're making these kids have all types of problems because of all these things that we're making all these women take care of. And it all really comes down to this part right here, postpartum. During the postpartum is when the mom is most susceptible. She's going to be more accepting for taking care of dogs. She's going to be more accepting of all this other stuff. Her hormones are going to make her more sad, more vulnerable. And we need to just let the mom take care of the human, not make the mom take care of a bunch of dogs. Don't you guys agree?